Yo, this is Carissa with On the Scene.
I'm Pretty Leon.
And we are here at the Thesis Pre-function. Actually, at We Out Here magazine creative space with our special guest.
Right.
Horizun the Alien.
Horizun the Alien.
Welcome on the show.
Welcome.
How's it feel? How's it feel to be performing at the Thesis tonight? Is this your first time?
First time at the Thesis.
Word, okay.
Many times at Kelly's.
Yeah, okay, word, okay. So yeah, because I feel like I've seen you over there before. I just saw you perform last weekend or the weekend before at Springfest?
Yeah,
and I saw you had like a very well organized, well put together backup dancer routine, and you're a dancer yourself. Did you? What came first, the dancing or the music? Or obviously they're intertwined, but did you start making music first, or did you start dancing first?
Yeah,
or did it come together?
The music definitely came first.
Word, okay.
Yeah, no, that's definitely built in the family.
Word, okay.
My mom's a singer. My biological dad, bass player, been bass player for like 45, 50 years.
Oh my God!
Like
wow,
that.
yeah. So it's in the blood.
Didn't meet him till later, but yeah. No,
Did you like gospel? Like, were you do you like choir at all or anything like that?
I did choir. It was more school choir.
Okay.
But I mean, that was just an excuse to sing during the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
to get to shine, stunting all them niggas. You know.
So, where are you from? Portland?
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and
Really?
raised in
Okay.
Portland. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, there's, little details of the vicinity. Like, I mean, I lived in Gladstone and went to school in Gladstone for a while. Went to school in Clackamas for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, just bounced around, but general Portland area. Yeah.
How was that? How was going to school in Gladstone
I was
as a
going to ask
black?
the same thing.
You know,
Clearly there's a lot of
as
racism over there.
black man. You know,
That's
with
exactly
black
Very,
individuals.
very few black folks.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember like going out there when I was younger, and it was like kind of treacherous at times and stuff. So I couldn't imagine like growing up.
treacherous.
Yeah. No, I was like, bro, I'd be walking around and be screaming epithets at me out the window and stuff, But I mean, Clackamas Mall was pretty popping back in the day when I was over there. But
I mean, I think if anything, living in the areas outside of Portland, on the outskirts of Portland, I think if anything that has contributed to my sound and my diversity.
Word. Okay.
Because I mean, I definitely have an appreciation that just kind of innately came with living in that area. For many different types of genres. I mean, I hung out with everyone.
No, what I'm saying.
Like, I hung out with the goth kids. I hung out with the preps. I hung out with the musicians and the bands and band kids. Yeah, I didn't really limit myself there.
What was the main genre, or like what music did you listen to really like growing up out there specifically? I mean, you listened to everything, I mean, but like what was your bread and butter? What was the go-to?
Yeah, bread and butter has always been hip hop and R&B.
Word, okay.
That's what I listened to growing up. Listened to. Obviously still, but I mean, once I started getting exposed to certain bands that have like a hybrid sound.
Like
NERD, like Pharrell.
Yeah. Okay, no.
That's when I started being like, maybe it's not so bad on this side,
It
maybe it's not
really
so bad.
is like I kind of had a similar
really
experience. It was like I started. Well, I listened to growing up, I listened to everything, but my favorite music growing up was like super hardcore, like hip hop, like gangster rap, like I just like 50 and DMX and all that and stuff. And then I started, but I think that was kind of like a facade or like a shield in a way, because I was kind of like I wanted to come off a certain way. But when I realized there's validity in every genre, and every genre has like
has a place,
beauty in every has its place
and a reason.
I started being like, okay, maybe I'll tell people that I play guitar now, and then I'll make these like punk songs, and then maybe listen to this punk band and this new metal band, and then that's why I started like my fusion, like trap, hardcore, hip hop, like shit, came from that.
So do you say that you do mainly fusion, or do you do like put like one kind of project out that has one sound and then put like a different sounding album out? Because I've been like kind of researching like things like the music scene a little bit more, and this expert was saying that it's better to like put different projects out under a different name, like different names, like when you're first starting anyway, like. Every artist like usually that ends up making it big starts with their brand, and they evolve. And like a lot of artists that I talk to are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like change my name and like next year and like evolve. But I think it's like you kind of have to like be set up with your brand and be like solid, I think, before you like completely change your genre and everything. Yeah. So that's why I was asking if you like just you kind of have a blend of all the different genres now, or if you're like this is one project and then this is another project kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Okay. So one of the biggest things for me, I'm a multi-genre artist. Let me just come out and say. And one of the biggest things for me is through my music, I actually moved to Vegas for about 3.5 years.
Okay.
Right? And what I kind of discovered out there is you know, obviously Vegas has like a big, you know, residencies and all the
Yeah,
hotels,
Sure.
and,
Yeah.
but they also have their local scene and all that stuff.
I've always
But
wondered about that.
It's very different.
What I did get a taste of though, it was like what people do kind of on the top end of famous and big and the parties and all that stuff that they do on a consistent basis.
The realness.
And I realized that's not really my thing.
Word.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't really care for it.
Yeah.
But kind of like the things that they're spending money on, the time that they're investing in certain, you know, in the spare time, I wasn't really like, it's like,
I can understand that for
I'm
sure.
not really about that. So I kind of had like a big period of self-reflection out there. And I realized I was like, okay, I need to figure out why I'm doing this, because I'm not.
It's not for that.
It's not for that. You know, I'm not really just trying to do that.
Which is how you're gonna be. You're gonna get more out of it. You know?
Yeah,
And not for the accolades, or necessarily not the accolades necessarily, but the material things and stuff. You want more.
Yeah.
You know, it's about this.
And I ended up actually getting into the solar industry out there. You know,
Solar industry?
The solar industry.
I like
Yeah.
that
Is that
would
where
be a
Horizun
big,
the Alien came from? Is that
would be
where?
a big industry.
You're starting to catch on.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna ask too. I feel like
There's a side note to that as well. I'll go back into it, but basically I got heavy into solar, and actually kind of like, I didn't pause music, but I kind of like put it to the side so I can focus on getting like really diving in, because I'd always wanted that opportunity in Oregon. I was like, yo, like why aren't more people doing solar? Why aren't people doing that? And what I ended up realizing, I was like, there's a lot of artists that are doing like social justice things, and a lot of awesome, even many exponentially more artists that are not talking about much anything at all. You know, they're not really using their platform to like push anything that's going to make that kind of a difference. But I realized there's no artists that are really focused on ecological.
Environmental.
They're not focused on science. They're not focused on critical thought and like becoming a better like human being on a consistent basis, but also focused on doing that in a way where it makes people want to listen.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's hard to do that, and sometimes it feels really corny.
I was just thinking of myself trying to make a song like
about
that, like
space.
well, about like science, and be like,
Science.
oh yeah, you gotta
rock, and that shit
take
is
care
cool.
of the environment for the kids. Like I can make it
It's
sound
very
really corny,
easy.
so
Yeah,
I
very
can see
easy.
how
System is valuable.
it'd be difficult to
No,
you have to have
it can
some
backfire in a million
talent
different
behind
ways.
it to make it like cool too. Yeah.
And that's the thing is, when it came to that, I was like, yeah, no one's really doing this. And it was kind of an epiphany that hit me when I was like, before I went to my morning meeting, actually. I saw a video on Instagram that was like, yeah, if you really want to become who you truly are, combine all of the things that you love.
Yeah, real shit.
And I wish I would have saved that video, because that was what birthed at that moment exactly what direction I wanted to go with my music.
Okay, sure.
And essentially what ended up happening after that is I started studying. I started realizing that all of the music that people complain about, right? Like mainstream. It's typically mainstream. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, why is this
music.
garbage on here? Why is this? Why is this that? Why is this doing this?
Yeah.
It got to a point where I was like, all right, well, why do people like this? I started asking why.
Yeah.
And once you start asking why, you start getting answers. Whether or not someone else gives it to you or whether or not you figure it out.
Yeah.
So I started.
You find it.
I started trying to understand why people like it, and I started learning more and understanding more. Like, okay, well, it's this sound, it's this catchy melody,
It's
it's
actually
this
scientific.
production.
It's
here.
actually scientific too.
It's down to like the
100%.
bare
Like the
essentials.
frequencies and all that.
No, there's also like, it's crazy. There's like poisonous frequencies. There's frequencies that are addictive, but also like very not good. Like just on like a sonic, it's like super sonic level that are just not. And those frequencies are very present.
I mean, I think
So-
they can kill you. Like, There's some that can
There's some
kill
that are
you.
unhealthy.
Like, I actually just started learning about that recently. There's just like the more you learn, the more there is to learn. So
It just opens up more doors. But I mean, ultimately, I kind of realized, I was like, well, if I just stick to one genre, then I would never get the message out to everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can't expect them to all come to me. So that really also blossomed the idea of like, I want to go into, I won't say everything, but like as many different genres, like as the main ones.
Yeah,
as
like learning different
you may. Like
languages.
there's gonna be a project that's gonna be more alternative based. There's gonna be something that's jazz based. There's gonna be something that's funk based. There's gonna be some stuff that's gonna really be touching a lot of different avenues that people are not gonna expect, but that's really a part of my brand, and I established it early as being versatile and being able to go anywhere and have it sound excellent. You know,
you're communicating with them. You're learning how to communicate with different people across the world. You know, it's like I was saying, like languages. You know, it's like there's always this social situation that I run into, like on the internet specifically. People are like, stop. You know, like it's like people are stop. Like speak English. You're in America and stuff like that. And it's just like that. Like I think about that in a musical standpoint, and it's like people are like, yo, why are you doing this genre? You were doing this before. And I'm like, do you realize how like arbitrary? Like, do you realize how silly that is? Like
you're supposed to stay over here in your box.
I was like, nigga, I was a baby once. I was shitting in diapers once when I didn't do it. You know, like it's like we evolve, we change, we grow, we adapt. You know, and it's like not all people are gonna want to communicate in the same exact way all the damn time. Like that's pretty fucking boring. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I want to know, where does the alien part come in? Can you
Horizun
explain?
the Alien.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was actually the question you asked earlier.
Yeah. I was like, where did? Yeah.
So astronomy and science and just the infinite possibilities have always been something I've been fascinated by since I was a kid. Like my mom bought me a telescope when I was 10.
Word. Okay.
Like it was a cheap telescope.
Yeah, but it works. Gets the job done.
But, you know,
like that's a start for sure. I think.
Yeah, I did see Mars for the first time myself.
Awesome.
You know,
Word.
Yeah.
It was kind of blurry. But
It made you realize how small you were,
I saw
probably.
Mars, you know?
First existential crisis, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's black holes is something that also is always just, no pun intended, just like pulled me in.
No, dead ass.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But
That's the allure.
It's all different phenomena in the outer space and just the distances that you're dealing with. And I really don't think people understand how far
Can't really
away that we're
fathom
actually dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about
Yeah.
that with a homie at the bar earlier before I came here. I was actually at Kelly's earlier, and then I came over here, and we were talking about like light years and all, and then how like time, like it was the trippiest conversation. You should honestly get into it with him when you go to the bar, because it was a good conversation. I'm glad we're talking about this now, because I was like, my brain was just like fried.
Can I fry your brain a little more?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Spit some hot shit.
First of all, I'm gonna just start with, you know how fast the speed of light is.
I can't remember the exact
fathom,
number, but
like,
yeah, I've known it at some point.
The speed of light is-
Philip, I know.
yeah.
I know you know. Exactly. That's
186,000 miles per second.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Per second.
Yeah.
So it'll circle the globe seven times in 1 second. Now,
Yep.
do you know how far away the sun is?
Nope.
I'll put it this way. Remember how I said it circles
I don't
7
keep
times in
these-
1 second?
Yeah.
These things in my mind. I keep music stuff
So
in my mind only.
whenever a photon leaves the sun, like,
Yeah.
of light, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
It takes 8.5 minutes going 186,000 miles
Like,
per
it's
second.
traveling
Per
at the speed
second
of light. It
to
takes
get to us. So if
8 minutes.
So we're actually seeing everything that we're seeing in the sky as it was.
We were talking
right?
about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with the sun, right? So if the sun actually just turned off like that,
we
wouldn't know
Yeah,
for
yeah,
8.5
but-
minutes, right? Because the last
Yeah.
particle of light wouldn't reach us until 8.5 minutes later.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? And the crazy thing, one of the fastest man-made objects ever launched currently is the Voyager 1 space probe.
Yeah.
It's not first anymore. It's probably like fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
But that was launched in 1977, right? That is basically an interstellar space now. It's been launched out, but it's going at 11 miles a second, right?
Wow.
So even if you were to be
11
launching,
miles a second.
I know. I can't even. Yeah.
if you, it's
My brain
wild.
can't
It's
comprehend
crazy
that.
to think about.
Yeah.
But even if we launched that in the general direction of the closest star to us, which is Proxima Centauri, right? Proxima Centauri is 4.2 light years away, right?
That's
how far light goes in a year. That's a light year.
Yeah,
Going
yeah,
167
yeah.
miles a second, right?
That's
It would take over
4.2.
100,000 years for Voyager 1 to reach it, going 11 miles.
The
a second.
closest.
That's the closest star.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And we have over
there could be
300 billion stars in
bunch
just
of,
our
like all the
galaxy.
stars could be dead and we wouldn't know it
I
in
was-
our lifetime.
I was talking with the homie at the bar about how, like blinking stars and different, anomalies in the sky and stuff. How this is my weird little hypothesis. Is like, if what if this blinking star was actually like there's a civilization maybe on that, or like an alien extraterrestrial whatever colony or whatever, and they're signaling, hey, we're gonna come kill you. But that happened like we're seeing this so late that they could be like approaching us at like the speed. If they're approaching us like if they have discovered light speed travel and stuff. If they're approaching us, they're probably pretty far away, but they could be way closer than us like perceiving that message at that moment. We were tripping. I was tripping about that. I was like, what if they're trying to tell us they're coming, but like we just. It's
well,
too late.
if they had the technology to like get here, then I'm sure they would have known that.
If they can get here, it's
already
already
we're done. We're done for.
But so are these the things that inspire? Are like the main things that inspire your music? Is like you said, science, like space science, and all that stuff. Is there anything else that inspires you?
I mean, just
life.
I'm still here as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say the alien, I don't necessarily mean I'm from a different planet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean I'm from a future Earth.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of things, and I have a mindset that's focused on the best possible future.
Word. Okay.
And I'm doing everything through my music to be able to make that happen.
Word.
If you could go on a spaceship, and you would be on the spaceship for a while, but it was like at light speed. But then your destination would be another planet. And you're living in a dome. Which artist would you take with you? So it would have to be probably somebody you could stand being around, and somebody that you can make amazing art with, and somebody that you can conversate or have a conversation with.
What artist would I take with me? That's a good question.
Somebody you could talk
Mine's
about
always
where you're at with.
Mine's always Lil Yachty because he's smart, and I feel like I could have good conversations with him, and he's funny, and like he's a great artist. So that's mine.
Yeah.
While you're thinking about it.
I mean, I would have to say Pharrell again.
Yeah, Pharrell.
That would be Pharrell.
I think we've heard that a couple times.
Wise beyond his years.
Yeah.
I actually, that was my answer.
Oh, okay.
I was like, because I'm a producer mainly, and I was like, yeah, Pharrell and like Rick Rubin or something, like people who have just completely flipped the game. I read this like little like snippet the other day, like Pharrell at one point, like in 2004 or something, he had like 15 hits on the radio, or like every single song in like the top 10 or something was his song. Some weird stat like that.
I believe it.
He's featured on it.
He has like a magical brain for sure. Yeah.
And he's still relevant. He's still relevant. He's doing it for like 25 plus years, maybe more. Like he's still just as relevant as ever.
Man, this man don't age.
Yeah. I'm sure you also appreciate that he was in a group called the Neptunes as well. Yeah. Is an event Horizon? Is that like a thing in space?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Is that where the Horizon came from?
Were you referring to my project?
I didn't know that was your project name.
We do want to hear about your projects.
It's funny.
So it's a good.
That's funny
good
that you
lead
mentioned that. Yeah. So I have a 20-track project out. It's on SoundCloud actually, but
shouts out that.
Yeah.
And how do we find that?
Just Horizun the Alien on SoundCloud. Just
everywhere on
Horizun the Alien. That project isn't on SoundCloud, or it's not on Spotify and Apple Music, but I have singles and everything that's on all other platforms. But it's actually called Project Event Horizon. That's crazy.
Word. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll look out for that.
I've always wondered, because I've heard that term so often.
Do you know what it is?
There's a movie the movie is pretty.
The movie is gnarly.
Pretty wild. Yeah.
So an Event Horizon, right? We were just talking about black holes.
Yeah.
Right. So the Event Horizon is the point within a black hole's radius, right? If you pass that point, then you can. It is impossible to escape. Basically, that's
Once
the point
you go
of
in,
that's the point
or you
of
get
where
close
even
enough to
light
it. Yeah.
going 186,000 miles per second
It
can't escape.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's why a black hole's black, actually.
Yeah.
Is because the gravity. There's so much gravity. Because you know how like there's an escape velocity of Earth.
Yep.
The sun also has an escape velocity. Jupiter has an escape, which is massively more than where Earth is, right?
Yeah.
A black hole is so massive that the escape velocity is beyond what light is.
Wow.
So even when light hits it, it's not coming back out.
Yeah,
it doesn't reflect. It doesn't nothing.
I think one of the sketchiest things I've ever heard, and honestly, I almost want to sample it. It's the sound of a black hole. Like when I heard that, have you heard that? Like,
I heard
that audio.
Is that real?
It's. I mean, it's. I think NASA released it, and it's the creepiest sound. It sounds like.
Oh, I did hear that.
Reverse,
like in 2000.
like down like 2 octaves, like whale speak, and it's just like it almost sounds like a PlayStation startup theme or something. But it was creepy. It's like that's what I would expect a black hole to sound like. It was like,
It's almost like it has like a mind of its own.
No, it seems sentient in a way. It's like, you know.
That's what's creepy about it.
Mindless entropy in which it consumes is just like it's eating, you know, it's feasting upon.
Okay, this conversation got so deep.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, that's how I like it.
My last question, so that we can get you to sound check, is since you're, you know, you say that you are like your music, you're like the future, like that's why you call yourself the alien. What do you think music is going to sound like if people are still around in like 2080? For instance, what do you think it will sound like? Do you think it'll just be like a blend? It'll be like one type of music, a blend of all the different sounds.
And what would you want it to sound like, too?
Yeah.
What I think it'll sound like, I think music is interesting. It comes in waves.
It's cyclical
right?
too.
It's very, very cyclical. So I think there's going to be different variations of sounds that have already been created. Of course, I mean that's kind of a given when it comes to just what you'll hear. But when it comes to genres, I definitely think there's going to be, especially with AI and all of this stuff coming
that's
out,
another thing.
like really, really pushing AI. There's going to be some stuff that no one's discovered yet.
Yeah,
AI is going to be like it's gonna create its versions, and then I think people are going to start trying to emulate.
It's gonna. I feel like it's gonna.
AI
it's
is
gonna
doing
get torn down to its bare essentials. And it's like there's just gonna be tones that are nice to the human ear that people are gonna like. If you're in the club, they're gonna be like.
I mean, I already do that. I go on YouTube and do that. Actually, but they call it like the angel, whatever. I don't know, angel sound, something. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think writing. I think writing your own music is gonna become a much more valuable craft. Because not hardly anyone's going to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's good. I was. That's the argument that I try to make when people are like, "AI is going to ruin everything." I'm like, well, you know, maybe they'll make like AI will make this crazy beat. Maybe they can because they can take people's voices now and make a whole song with them. Like the Drake AIs, it goes hard. Like I was.
Have you asked?
Have you
asked ChatGPT to write you a song?
Yeah.
I
did once.
It was bad.
Ass,
it was so ass. I was like, write me a bad bitch song.
It didn't though.
It was like I'm a bad bitch. I go downtown and with my swag and my I don't know. It's just like so.
Like roaring 20s trap, like walking downtown with like what the fuck?
It's not good yet. I still have some catching up to do. But what I think music is going to sound like that, like in 2080 or whatever, is maybe. I mean, there's probably gonna be a little bit of everything. But you've seen The Fifth Element, and I don't remember the name of that alien with like the blue skin or whatever.
Yeah, the singer.
Yeah. I think maybe there'll be more of that, but it'll be like songs that only like humans can't sing that way, like just AI can produce this type of music with like voice, like pitch going, super, super high and super low type of thing. Yeah. So I don't know. That's what I think. I think that would be pretty cool.
That's an interesting thought. Because I almost like, I also think it could be the exact opposite too, because I feel like we could be listening to like doo-wop again, because
I hope so.
Shit just keeps on like repeating, like everyone keeps taking from these genres and everyone keeps resampling this and that.
I love
doo-wop. And it's like we're probably gonna hear a lot of the same music that we hear. The songs that are hits today are gonna be hits in like 10 years sampled, and I feel like that's gonna be like a reoccurring, like it's gonna keep on going for a while.
What I think is also gonna happen is there's going to be a separation of like just pure human art and music and all of this, like, and it's going to be a very, very like strict divide. You're already kind of seeing it right now. But there's going to be like how like kind of people are snobby about like hip hop, like it's like, man, that's not real hip hop. That's not real hip hop. And if you have any AI, they're gonna be like, man, that's not real music. That's not real music.
Probably gonna be like labels that are like humans only allowed. No AI.
There's going to be like a whole thing with there's going to be an AI uprising. It's going to happen. We're Terminator. But like what I've been telling artists lately when they're like, oh, what kind of music? Like you're in the music scene. Like what would you like to hear more of? And I actually would really. I used to like, I had an old co-host who was like, who would ask people like, oh, like, why do you use auto-tune? And I would like be like, don't be rude. Like, it's fine. Yeah. But now I'm at the point where like anytime I go to the show, everybody's using auto-tune. So it would almost be better if people actually like learn to sing. Auto-tune is fine. Like I'm not hating. I'm not hating, but I personally would like to hear more natural voices.
It's just like an instrument, because it's like
that's what I'm saying.
If you learn how to, because like me and my boss Frankie, shout out Patriot Sound Lab. We were talking about it the other day, and we had a friend or an artist that we've been working with for like almost like a year and a half, something, and we were using auto-tune on a song, and we actually stopped. We're like, yo, or Frankie was like, yo, let's actually, I'm a vocal coach you through this and get you to sing the notes correctly, and then put auto-tune on it. And it was like worlds different. So people can, like his T-Pain can sing, it's a lot of these artists can sing, and it's just an instrument. But, at the end of the day, there is a lot of people that lean very heavily into that. And I feel like if you can't, my whole thing as a producer is because I use loops, but I also make my own melodies and loops and stuff like that. But I wouldn't. But I think I told myself I wouldn't if I couldn't do it by myself. And I think that's I think about autotune the same way. If you can't really sing decently without it, it's you should learn how.
Yeah.
You don't want to use it as a crutch.
Yeah,
the
like
crazy
I said,
thing.
There's nothing wrong with it in my opinion. Yeah. But when I go to shows, I want to actually hear your voice, because a lot of people don't even sing anymore. They just lip sing during their show, and we can tell. It's I want to see you performing. So maybe do more of that.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is too, the better you are at singing, the better auto-tune sounds.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
And this is,
it sounds really good. Yeah, if you actually know how to sing. Yeah.
And the cool thing, I mean, I don't know if you really ever use software when it comes to auto-tune, but it's very adjustable. It's very flexible.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's not like a slap on auto-tune and you call it a day. It's you gotta there's tweaks, there's humanization, there's vibrato, there's all these different settings. You have full control over exactly how much auto-tune you have on it. So a lot of the time, if you do it correctly, you can't even tell there's auto-tune on it.
That's
what I prefer
artists,
typically. Yeah.
I think I was reading that almost every single track that you'll hear on the radio has at least just a tiny bit, with the master mix on it, very, very low, but a tiny bit of auto-tune. Every single track will use a tiny, tiny bit. Ever since Cher, back in early 90s used, auto-tune for the first time. Yeah. Everyone was oh shit, this is a really fucking powerful tool.
Do you believe in love after,
that was the first time auto-tune was ever used on a track. Yep. And it just took the industry by storm. But it was, it wasn't until T-Pain and a lot of the, G-Funk rappers.
He used it right, yeah.
Well, T-Pain wasn't a G-Funk rapper, but the G-Funk rappers started using it, and it was this whole kind of died, and then T-Pain brought it back again. And I think it just kind of keeps getting new life, because it's initially it was just, Cher on that song was sounded like a warbling, And now I think it's people are realizing it's much more an instrument. You learn how to play it, you learn how to tune it.
People are tuning auto-tune better.
Yes, they're tuning it. You dial it in. So it's
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited to hear what music is going to be like in the future, because it's changed so much
on a different planet
with technology. So we'll be on the moon doing all sorts of weird shit with music.
You want to get a little glimpse? Just watch the show tonight.
Yeah, let's check it out, yo.
This isn't going to be no. This isn't going to be edited by the time we do the show. But go to one of his shows, and you will get a glimpse at what future music will be like.
That's right. One
more time, can we get your socials and all that, so we know where to find you?
Yeah. So it's Horizun the Alien, just Horizun. If you do ZO, you're never gonna find me.
Yeah,
there's 50 bands plus Horizun in the name.
Yeah.
So just make sure you do that. And it's same thing, all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Follow him.
The Alien, so.
Follow Horizun the Alien everywhere. Listen to the music, do all the things. Go follow Carissa Des on Instagram, as well as On the Scene Live.
That's right.
On Instagram.
No slacking. Go follow them.
Go on YouTube. That's where you'll be watching this video and all of our other videos. Carissa Des on YouTube.
That's right. And I'm PRXTTY_Leon. You already know how it goes. And the project is called Event Horizon?
Project Event Horizon. It's on my SoundCloud. You go to playlists, it'll be right there. You can't miss it.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of On the Scene, and we are here at the Thesis Pre-function at We Out Here magazine.
All right. We outside. I'm pretty fucking
always.
We out here, we out there. Let's go.
Yes, sir.